Hello and welcome again with English. How are you all? Might be in good health. So, from supplementary reading, we are having the first chapter that is retired in your course in Ekam Kasuri. We can say unit test. The third level. The name suggests something written by Jack Furman. Here it is, before you read has been given on page number 1. No page number. Might be 1. Go with your textbook. Have you ever had any curious experience which others find hard to believe? So we are having lots and lots of experiences in our life regarding many things, and most of our friends are tackling us with these all things. They are making us fool with some techniques, some things, some. So we are all are talkative, questioning to each other. Five W's are stands in our life. Most dominant thing in our life is 5 W, why, who, when, this all thing. One H is also there in between, how. So these all are grammatical points that we are going to study afterwards when our school starts. But let's have the supplementary read chapter 1. The third level, a story is something critical, crucial story that we cannot just imagine. So some words are there, some different type of sentences are there. So let's have the presidents of the New York Central and the New Haven and Hartford railroads will swear on a stack of timetables that there are only 2. But I say there are 3 because I have been on the third level of the Grand Central Station. Yes, I have taken the obvious step. I talked to a psychiatric friend of mine, among others. I told him about the third level at Grand Central Station and he said it was a walking dream with wish fulfillment. He said I was unhappy. That made my wife kind of mad. But he explained that he meant the modern world is full of insecurity, fear, war, worry and all the rest of it. And that I just want to escape. Well, who doesn't? Everybody I know wants to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. Anything I don't think you might have understood in this thing. Even I too. What is there in this thing? Yeah, some station, some 2 levels, some 1 level. So here it's a place over there, the presidents of the New York Central and the New York City, here it is been derived. And it's a particular station is over there, and these stations are having 3 steps. But people used to say there are only 2 steps regarding this station, 1 step and these 2 steps. That step doesn't mean that what we are walking over, so but the steps are parts of them. Just like the parts of our life, we can say, we can say from decades. First of all, we were animals. The scientists used to say that we were animals. No doubt, every human is an animal. So that period, that age, we can say, was a very good age. We can say the age of Satyuga, something. It's there in Hinduism. Satyug, these all things, we are going through that. But these are the steps of the period, the ages, the centuries, we can see. As per, I have gone through this first paragraph, I can see, I had not gone through the lesson yet, but before that, whatever I had gone through that, I can see there are some different kind of stages of life. That further how it was there before, early ages, earlier and earlier ages, and in the Middle East and the coming centuries what we are facing. Nowadays we are facing that problem of misery, greed, selfishness and this all. Before that it was not there. And before earlier, as I told Satyug in India, I'm sorry for that, but there is no word for that true world. We can say Satyug, Sat and Yug. Can we say true world? I don't know properly the expression of these all things. But you all are genius and brilliance of my 11th standard students, 12th standard. Doctors and engineers mind. So here he is talking about the levels on that station that he had marked, and he went to the second and second to third. Third level is there, something different one. He connected to his friend who was a psychiatrist, psychiatrists who are there, Dr. Pagal. It is so no mentally problem. If we are facing any mentally problem regarding this thing, then these doctors will go to the psychiatrist surgeon. We can say. So it happens in our life to go within that. Sometimes we dream and go in an entirely different world. So these all are imaginations. These all are factor. What is not properly proven over there. So let's begin. Let's go further. We can say. Everybody I know want to escape, but they don't wander down into any third level at Grand Central Station. He used to say that there is a third level near the Grand Station, but people don't accept him. So what's further? But that's the reason he said. And my friends all agree. Everything points to it. They claim my stamp collection, for example, that's a temporary refuge for reality. Well, maybe, but my grandfather didn't need any refuge from reality. Things were pretty nice and peaceful. In his day, from all I hear, and he started my collection. It's a nice collection too. Blocks of four are practically every US issue. First day covers and so on. President Roosevelt collected stamps too, So he got a hobby of collecting stamps. We all got different types of hobbies in our life. No doubt we are with the world, but we got in our depth, we got some type of hobbies over there. He got a hobby of collecting stamps with the help of his grandfather. He used to do so. He got even the president at that time of US, Roosevelt, collected stamp too. His grandfather used to say it. Anyway, here is what happened at Grand Central one night last summer. I worked late at the now office. I was in a hurry to get uptown to my apartment, so I decided to take the subway from Grand Central because it's faster than the bus. As we are having these trams, and here in Delhi, I recently visited what it's called. I forgot it. Metro. Fast train in the cities. It moves in the city, not outside of the city. So instead of going in bus, he went with the subway. Means a particular vehicle, we can say, that moves too fast. He was late at his office. Now I didn't know why this should have happened to me. I'm just an ordinary guy named Charlie, old, and I was wearing a tan gabardine, suit and a straw hat with a fancy bag. I passed a dozen men who looked just like me, and I wasn't trying to escape from anything. I just wanted to get home to Louisa, my bed. So he was wearing a particular type of dress with a coat and hat over his nose, and he can see people like him. But in mind he was thinking, as everyone used to think while you are in school also, when you are in last lecture, in last 10 minutes, you are seeking to go outside that we will go home. And he was also eager to meet his wife, Alicia, his wife. I turned into Grand Central from Vanderbilt Avenue and went down the steps to the first level where you take trains like the 20th century. So it's imagination, yeah, it's reality. We cannot say, but some different types of steps he has mentioned over it. Here, he told he went to the first station where you can get the train for 20th century. In which century we are living? I think so 21 and 22nd. So we are moving towards 22nd century. So where you take trains like the 20th century. Then I walked down another flight to the second level where the suburban trains leave from. Duped into an arched doorway, heading for the subway and got lost. That's easy to do. I have been in and out of Grand Centrals hundreds of times, but I'm always bumping into new doorways and stairs and corridors. Once I got into a tunnel about a mile long and came out in the lobby of Roosevelt Hotel. Another time I came up in an office building of 46th Street, 3 blocks away. Now he traveled in a particular train and now he can see the scenario. Something different thing. What was there? The doors were of type, and some roads were there of different types of streets, and then some corridors, some stairs, and then he moves toward a building on 46th Street, the block 3 blocks away. Sometime I think Grand Central is growing like a tree, pushing out new corridors and staircases like roofs. There's probably a long tunnel that nobody's known about feeling its way under the city right now, on its way to Times Square, and maybe another to Central Park, and maybe because for so many people through the years, Grand Central has been the exit, a way of escape. There was another area called the escape, and there we can go. At last we used to exit over that at that particular area. Maybe that's how the tunnel I got into, but I never told my psychiatric friend about that idea, and he never told. Is he a psychic? Is he having a psychic problem? We can say a mentally person thinking something obvious. Yeah, we can say some extraordinary or different from us. It might be. Let's go move towards the corridor. I was began angling left and slanting downwards, and I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. It was moving here and there, the corridor, the area over there, it was slanting here, little bit bent one, yeah, somewhat. I thought that was wrong, but I kept on walking. All I could hear was the empty sound of my own footstep, and I didn't pass a soul that he was walking alone. He can hear his own footstep, not any passing soul. Means not a single person was moving around to him. Then I heard that sort of hollow road ahead, that means open space and people talking. Then when he came out of the tunnel, out of the corridor, he can hear something roaring, means voice of people. The tunnel turned sharp left. I went down a short flight of stairs and came out on the 3rd level at Grand Central Station. For just a moment, I thought I was back on the 2nd level, but I saw the room was smaller. There were fewer ticket windows and the train gates, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking. So now he is going, he is thinking over. So he is thinking that he went there, and now he is moving towards to the 3rd level. There it seems something different type, we can see. There were old all wooden made that we can see in our railway stations and these all things. Bookstores we can see, doors and windows that are earlier ages and these all. So now there are short train gates, and you can see, and the information booth in the center was wood and old looking, and the man in the booth wore a green eye shade and long black sleeve protectors. Means a particular type of cloth he was wearing that people used to wear in olden age. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Lights you can see at that time there was no lights. So furnaces that we can say furnace in the sense they were burning in a low speed. The lights were dim and sort of flickering. Then I saw why they were open flame gas lights. We can see they were open flame gas lights. So this our person had moved towards the backwards to the century in past, we can say. There were brass splinters on the floor, and across the station a glint of light caught my eye. A man was pulling a gold watch from his vest pocket. He snapped open the cover, glanced at his watch and frowned. He rode a derby, a big black handlebar moustache. Then I looked around and saw that everyone in the station was dressed like 18, 19 something. So he went in the past. From the 3rd level of the station, he went towards past, about in 18th century. A particular man, he took out a golden watch from his pocket. He flickered it. He saw something. He was having a particular type of moustache. And the people, they were wearing a particular type of clothes that the people used to wear in the past. I never saw so many beards, sideburns and fancy moustache in my life. So you can see that if you will go to the earlier movies, Then black and white movies, you can see particular type of mustaches. Now today the beards and mustache fashion has been now arrived again. So the whole circles move around, you can see. Fashions also moves around and comes back again. Then what happens? A woman walked into the train gate. She wore a dress with leg of mutton sleeves and skirts to the top of her high button shoes. Back of her, out on the tracks, I caught a glimpse of a locomotive, a very small courier, and a locomotive with a funnel-shaped stack, and then I knew. After that lady, there were some locomotive. Locomotive, what is the locomotive? Another word, new word came. For science student, it must be known to you that she was having a, like this, we can say, a bag or something. Yeah, a person having something, carrying a locomotive with a light. And then I knew. To make sure, I walked over to a newsboy and glanced at the stack of papers at his feet. It was the World, and the World hasn't been published for a year. To know where he is, he walked to a boy having newspaper. Then he saw the World. The World was a newspaper that had not been published for many and many years. Means it was from the 18th century. Yeah. So the World, and the World hasn't been published for years. The lead story said something about President Sunland. I have found that front page scenes in the public library files, and it was printed June 1894. So it was mentioned June 1894 on the newspaper. That what he had seen in his library, that earlier age, this person was the president, this type of people used to live, they used to wear such a kind of dress, yeah, particular dresses, having long sleeves and long necks and these all things. I turned towards the ticket window knowing that here, on the third level at the Grand Central, I could buy tickets that would take Losa and me anywhere in the United States we wanted to go in the year 1894, and I wanted 2 tickets to Gettysburg, Linux. So here it was a facility that once you buy a ticket, wherever you want to go you can. So he thought to buy 2 tickets for him and his wife to move again at Gettysburg. Sorry. Have you ever been there? It's a wonderful town still with big old frame houses, huge lawns and tremendous trees whose branches meet overhead in the roof streets. And in 1894, summer evenings were twice long and people sat out of their lawns, the men smoking cigars and talking quietly, the woman waving palm leaf fans with the fireflies all round in a peaceful world. To be back there with the First World War still 20 years off and the World War II over 40 years in the future, I wanted 2 tickets for it. So he wanted to go at the time, at the place where people used to be too much liberal over there. They were enjoying their life, enjoying their evening. Nowadays we are running over here, and there were before 2 or 3 days I visited Ahmedabad. I told my friend that I don't want to settle in Ahmedabad anyway. Just I like my village. So like this, the life of that time, 18 something, what it is, a 94 period. You can just imagine before about 1,000 years. We can see, 200 years, 300 years, 400, 500 years before. We can see that how the life it was before the First World War 20 years and before the World War II 40 years. I wanted 2. The clerk figured the fare. He glanced at my fancy headband, but he figured the fare, and I had enough for 2 coach tickets one way. But when I counted out the money and looked up, the clerk was staring at me. He nodded at the bills. "They ain't money, mister," he said, "and if you are trying to skill me, you won't get very far." And he glanced at the cash drawer beside him. He told, "Please give me 2 tickets." The clerk used to glance. He told, "This is the fare." The board was there of the fare. How much? where it takes to move from one place to another place. Twice he told, he nodded his face towards the fair. And when he gave money, the money was of present time, but the person is in past. He is going to buy money. Now the whole scenario has been changed. As per earlier we were having golden coins. Then some copper coins, some silver coin, some aluminium coins. Now there are no coins. Only we are having 5 rupees and 10 rupees coins. And then we are having this old notes and these all things. Now again Narendra Modi has changed the currency. So what will happen? He gave the presents the currency to the clerk. The clerk told that you are going to make me fool, then you won't run away more. If you will fool me, then what happens? And he glanced at the glass door beside him. Of course, the money was old style bills, half again as big as the money we use nowadays, and different looking. I turned away and got out fast. There's nothing nice about jail, even in 1894. So when he glanced at the cupboard, that drawer, he can go through the money. This money were in big size and in different style, different printing was there. So then he thought, oh, I am in 1894 and I don't want to go in jail in 1894. How horrible it might be. Then at that was that, and that was that. Why two that? And in between one verb is that. And that was that means what? Can you get this whole thing? He had gone. Like this, some sentences are coming in your 12th standard, your 11th, your 10th standard also. Grammatical portion I am saying. So I think so you will be bored with the grammar. So let me continue. And that was that. I left the same way I came, I suppose. Next day, during lunch hours, I drew $300 out of the bank, nearly all we had, and bought old style currency that really worried my psychiatric friend. You can buy old money at almost any coin dealers, but you have to pay a premium. My $300 bought less than 200 in old style bills, but I didn't care. Eggs were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. So what did he do? He returned again. He went to a particular place where he can exchange the money. He took the old currency by giving 300 some dollars or something. He got only 2, and it was a surprise for his psychiatric friend too, that why he is buying. And in 1894, as we can say, for 1 cent, for 1 paisa we can say, were 13 cents a dozen in 1894. 13 paisa you will get 12 eggs in 1890. But I have never again found the corridor that leads to the 3rd level at the grandstand station, although I have tried often enough. Now the system, the scenario has been changed. He told I can never find again, because he returned to the real place. He can't find that place. It was an imagination. It was his thoughts. What is? Let us clear. Lobsa was pretty worried when I told her all this, and didn't want me to look for the 3rd level anymore. And after a while I stopped. I went back to my stamps, but now we are both looking every weekend, because now we have proved that the 3rd level is still here. So it's still there. My friend Sam disappeared. Nobody knew where, but I sort of suspected, because Sam's a city boy and I used to tell him about Galesburg. I went to school there, and he was always said he liked the sound of the place, and that's where he is. All right, in 1894. So he was troubled, he was in confusion. He told this all up to his wife. He was collecting stamps and this all. He told this thing to his friend who was like him, and he also told that yes, it's supposed that it might be the 3rd level. Because one night, fusing with my stamp collection, I found, well, do you know what a first day cover is? When a new stamp is issued, stamp collectors buy some and use them to mail envelope to themselves on the very first day of sale, and the postmark proves the date. The envelope is called a first day cover. They have never opened. You just put blank paper in the envelope. So as probably the stamp lover, they used to do these all things. Whenever a new stamp is in market, new stamp is there, they used to write letter to their own address with the stamp, so they can get the stamp and the date over there, that from which date they have bought this thing. That night, among my oldest first day covers, I found one that shouldn't have been there, but there it was. It was there because someone had mailed it to my grandfather at his home in Galsburg. That's what the address on the envelope said, and it had been there since July 1894. The postmark showed that, yet I didn't remember it at all. The stamp was a 6 cent, dull brown with a picture of President Garfield. Naturally, when the envelope came to Granddad in the mail, it went right into his collection and stayed there till I looked it out and opened it. The paper inside wasn't blank, it read. So he found an envelope that was written to his grandfather by someone, and it was marked over 1894 something it was, and the grandfather might have received it and put it in a particular place, and something was written in that mail, we can say in that letter. What was 941 Wilson Street, Galsburg, July 1894. Charlie, I got to wishing that you are right, then I got to believing you are right, you were right. And Charlie, it is true, I found the third level. I have been here 2 weeks, and right now down the street at the Dales, someone is playing a piano, and they are all out of the front porch singing Nelly Home, and I am invited over for lemonade. Come on back, Charlie and Louisa, keep looking till you find the third level. It's worth it, believe me. The note is signed Sam. So they got a particular type of letter, and it was mentioned their only and his wife's name inside it. And they were welcome for a lemonade, for a party over there. At the stamp and coin store I found out that Sam bought $800 worth of old style currency. That ought to set him up in a nice little hay, feed and game businesses. He always said that's what he really wished he could do, and he certainly can't go back to his old business. Not in Galsburg, Leonese in 1894, his old business. Why Sam was my psychiatrist. So, I know you don't understand this lesson, but it is about the fact that nowadays world what we are facing. Though the writer used to say, he used to say that the better 1894 was better than this. And his psychiatrists too want to do this so. So leave all lavish life, this all city life, this modern life, and go to a particular place that seems like heaven, that seems like 1894. So just it's an imagination of the writer. He says many things regarding this supplementary reading. Lesson number 1, he says that move towards backward. The life, the atmosphere, the nature, the rituals, the customs, whatever we can say. Go towards that, think of that and live life. Not today's the harsh life running over here and there. The lavishness of this particular modern age, it will kill. So he insists us to go through the old age and live life. Thank you. If you have any doubt, please contact me. Thank you very much.